All right, let's dive right in. We're looking at a massive T20 showdown between two of cricket's absolute giants, Australia and India at the legendary Melbourne Cricket Ground. Now, this is more than just a game. It's a chess match on grass, and the winner might just be decided before a single ball is even bowled.
On paper, these two teams look incredibly well matched. It feels like it could go either way. But in today's game, matches are so often won and lost in the data. So that's the real question we need to answer. In this clash of titans, who has that hidden edge, that secret advantage that could blow the whole thing wide open?
To figure that out, we're not just guessing. We're firing up the Corralon AI. It's already dug deep, crunched all the numbers, and analyzed every possible angle to uncover the tactical secrets hiding in plain sight. So, let's see what it found. So, get this. The AI's #1 most important discovery has nothing to do with a star player or some fancy new tactic. Nope, it's all about those 22 yards of turf right in the middle of the MCG. It turns out the entire game plan for both teams hinges on the very unique personality of this pitch.
Corralon AI has flagged the MCG as a difficult split deck. So, what on earth does that mean? Well, it's a pitch that basically plays like two completely different surfaces from one innings to the next. The conditions for batting and bowling in the first half of the game are the total opposite of what you'll see in the second. And we're not talking a subtle shift here. This is a massive game-changing transformation. And this really shows you what we're talking about. In the first innings, it's an absolute batter's paradise. The AI rates most types of bowling as red, meaning they're just not going to be effective. But then, in the second innings, that paradise flips into a bowler's fortress. All of a sudden, almost every type of bowling is rated green, highly effective. It's literally like playing two different games on the same day.
And here's the hard data that proves it. Just look at that table. Look at the insane shift from red in innings 1 to green in innings 2 for both pace and spin. That is a huge swing. It tells you without a shadow of a doubt that bowling in that second innings gives you a massive tactical advantage. The only thing that seems to work consistently across both, hitting that hard back of length.
Okay, so if the pitch is going to change that much, what does it mean for the captain standing out there for the coin toss? Well, according to the Corralon AI analysis, there isn't really a choice to be made at all. The data points to one and only one strategy.
And here it is, plain and simple. The Corralon AI conclusion isn't absolute. Whoever wins that toss must bat first. But why? Because the real advantage isn't chasing down a score, it's getting to bowl your overs in that green-heavy second innings, where the pitch basically becomes your 12th player. You want your bowlers at their most dangerous, and that's when it's going to happen.
But batting first is only half the job. The AI has also pinpointed what it calls a winning score anchor. On a pitch where it's so tough to bowl early on, that 170 to 175 range is the magic number. It's a total that's just big enough to be really tough to chase down when that pitch transforms into a bowler's dream later in the day. Okay, so we've got our strategy locked in. Win the toss, bat first, and aim for about 175. Now the AI shifts its focus to the teams themselves. How well are Australia and India actually built to pull this off? And this, right here, is where a massive mismatch starts to appear. Let's start with Australia. Corralon AI sees a pretty vulnerable core. Their batting lineup is predictable. We're talking 6 right-handers in their top 7. Their bowling attack leans heavily on pace and just doesn't have a lot of variety. But the biggest red flag, the absolute critical flaw, they have no specialist wrist spinner.
Now look at the contrast with India. The AI sees a team that is strategically flexible and incredibly well-balanced. You've got 4 lefties and 3 righties in their top order, which makes them a nightmare to plan for. And their bowling attack, it's varied, it's high quality, and most importantly, it has a trio of specialist spinners making them perfectly built for these conditions.
And this is the one point the Corralon AI keeps hammering home. This is a direct quote from the analysis. It's a critical flaw. So why is not having a wrist spinner such a big deal? Well, let's go back to that bowling grid. Wrist spin goes from being totally ineffective, red, in the first innings, to a match-winning weapon, green, in the second. India has that weapon. Australia does not. That's a huge hole in their strategy for the most important part of the game.
So, let's put all the pieces together. We've got a split deck pitch that massively helps the team bowling second. We have a clear, data-driven mandate to bat first. And we have 2 teams, one that looks perfectly constructed for the job, and another with a pretty major flaw. It's time to bring all that data together for the final Corralon AI verdict.
This final breakdown just makes that mismatch so obvious. India is rated excellent in key areas where Australia is poor. And yeah, both teams are a bit vulnerable to that back-of-length bowling. But just look at that last row. Critical weaknesses. The AI says Australia's risk is high while India's is low. I mean, the data is really screaming in one direction here.
And all of this leads to a very clear prediction from the Kuralan AI. India to win. The tactical mismatch is just too big to ignore. India is built better to set a score, and they have the perfect weapons, especially those spinners, to exploit the pitch when the game is truly on the line.
When you look at how each team can win, India's path is pretty straightforward and aligns perfectly with the data. Bat first, get to that magic number, and then let their spinners go to work on a helpful pitch. Australia's path, on the other hand, is a whole lot tougher. They also have to bat first, but they have to survive India's varied attack to even get a score. Then, they have to hope their pace bowlers are absolutely perfect. It's just a much, much harder ask.
Now, of course, nothing in cricket is ever a 100% guarantee. A player could have the game of their life, or the pitch could play differently than expected. But the Kuralan AI has shown us the most probable outcome, based on the evidence. And it really leaves us with a fascinating question. Is this kind of deep data analysis making sport more predictable, or is it just making the way we all understand it that much more intelligent?